name's Jill Dunkley. I'm a yoga therapist as well as a mindfulness instructor, and I'm 60 years old and I love to garden. And a few more qualifiers here. I have osteoporosis, I have disc narrowing in the lower part of my spine where it attaches to the pelvis, and I have instability in my pelvis because I was born with hypermobility in my body, which means my ligaments are quite loose, and I was just born this way. So you're probably saying, oh my goodness, what are you doing? Because it looks like you are about to plant a shrub, and should you be doing this? And I am here to tell you that I am so excited to be doing what I love and probably feeling stronger than I ever have. So this past year I got certification through Osteoporosis Canada, and that allows me to teach to people who have moderate fracture risk, which means they're not too fragile in their spines. And I have been following their recommended activity guidelines myself, with the support of a local fitness instructor in my area. Her name is Jessie Swain. And the combination of that has been so empowering, and I want to share that with you guys in the hopes that if you are in a similar situation to me, you don't give up. You continue to do what you love. Jessie has been great. I do strength training with her 2 to 3 times a week. I also twice a week with her do core strengthening, back strengthening, balance work, strengthening the sides of the body. And so I am here to demonstrate the fruits of that as I plant a shrub. And I'm not an expert gardener, so don't be looking at this video to learn how to plant a shrub properly. I'm still learning. But what I will get you to look at is my body mechanics. Okay, so let's start with making some room for this shrub that I want to plant by removing another plant. Now, it's been raining a lot the last couple of days, so I'm anticipating that this plant is going to be a little bit heavy to move. So I want to show you the biomechanics of digging this out and then lifting it and moving it somewhere else. Okay, so first thing I want is a really good position to dig. So in my body. So if you notice, I've got a stance where I'm not rounding forward. I'm keeping my spine in neutral, and I'm using the power of my legs and my arms. So I'm trying to keep as much as possible the work out of my back and in the stronger legs and in my arms. So I'm anticipating this is going to be a little bit heavy to lift. So I've been working on my sumo squats for the last year. Thank you, Jessie Swain, for all your help and your dedication to keeping people strong. I am so grateful. So I am very aware as I come down, I need to be able to come into a pretty deep squat. This is heavy, but I have been lifting 20 pounds 2 to 3 times a week. So I'm feeling like this will be okay in my legs and my knees. So I'm keeping the root ball really close into me and taking a deep breath. And then on the exhale, I'm going to power up through my legs and not use my spine. And I felt fine on my back. Moving on now, I have to create a hole now that is twice as wide as the circumference of this shrub. Notice how I'm bending down with my legs to move the wheelbarrow. I'm not rounding my spine. In all of these activities, I'm being very careful to keep my spine in neutral. That's the key here. It does require leg strength, so I've been working a lot this last year on leg strength with the use of free weights or dumbbells. And I've been doing it progressively. So I've started with no weights and then gradually progressed to lighter weights and just gradually over time being able to progress to more and more weight. So I've switched to a bigger shovel just so that I can do this job faster. But I want you to notice my spine and how I turn. So I'm turning with my feet. Lifting with my legs. So far my spine is feeling fine. So notice how when I pry up, I'm doing it with my arms and my legs. Okay, I did that. I turned. Okay, hang on. Gotta do this correctly. So, lifting and turning with my legs, not my spine like I just did. Big rock here. So notice how to stand up I'm using the support of my shovel. Just gonna move this off to one side. Hearing a red-shouldered hawk, that's part of what I love. I can tune into the natural world around me. See, I've dug a hole twice as wide as my shrub. Notice how I'm kneeling. Well, that came out nice and easy. Beautiful, beautiful. Just gonna help those roots be less root bound. And now I want to make sure that I use good mechanics here. I'll show you from this side. So I'm going to step down in a lunge. I'm going to come down onto both knees, and I'm going to keep my spine nice and neutral as I lean in. Notice how my chest is lifted here. Let's find a nice position. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now I need to mix up some soil with some manure, put in a little bit of bone meal, and then fill it back in. So exciting! So I'm going to do a little sprinkle of bone meal around the base. Bone meal is really good to promote root growth, so I've been told. Just a little sprinkle around the bottom. I've mixed up some manure in with soil, and I'm going to fill in the hole basically up to the top of this root ball. So again, I'm in that sort of lunge stance. So push up through the legs, turn with my feet. Using a lot of upper body strength here to get the shovel underneath, then using this stance, lunge stance. I'm just going to come around here, turning with my feet, taking all the time I need. This is where the mindfulness piece comes in. Used to rush through everything, and I would inevitably make mistakes. Now I'm just learning I need to go at the pace I need to go at, and that is fine. is just fine. And you slow down, you hear the birds around. There's no race to win. I got nothing to prove. That's the other good thing when you're 60. Nothing to prove. Actually using the edge of the wheelbarrow there just to help me with a little bit of leveraging, which is actually working well. As long as I don't tip the whole wheelbarrow over. It's working well. You get to be creative with this. It's another thing when you slow down. Get to think it through. Black flies are coming out. I can feel one biting me on my nose. Unpleasant sensation. Okay, so that time wasn't really being mindful. I leaned forward a bit too much. My body didn't like that. So staying more upright, paying attention. And when you do forget, which you will, we all do, be kind to yourself. We're all doing the best we can. That kindness piece, that was big for me when I started to understand what mindfulness was really about. And that was a game changer. So I'm just going to tamp this down now. Oh, I'm feeling pretty happy about this. It's looking good. For watering, they really stress how important it is to water your shrub every week for the whole season. 12 liters once per week. Okay, so I figured it out. 1.5 watering cans of water from our rain barrel will give us that 12 liters. So I've already filled the watering can at once, so I'm just going to fill it up halfway this time. Staying upright, keeping my shoulders back, chest lifted. Thanks to all that upper body dumbbell work this past year, this feels quite doable. On the shoulders, my shoulders feel really good and strong. Arms feel strong, just feels good. Good to be alive. So I'm just gonna put the mulch around. It says actually to keep the mulch how far away from the stem. At least 2 inches away from the stem, so I'll leave a little space around the plant. Notice again, I'm in my lunge position, reminding myself to keep my spine neutral. In fact, I probably will go around this side so I'm not leaning as much. It's always got to be mindful here. Well, how about I move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing? Keeping my spine neutral, trying not to round over. That's the key. From start to finish. Trying not to round. It's just the reality of an aging spine. The bone density decreases and it makes you more vulnerable for the spine becomes like Swiss cheese and it can actually just compress, boom, from too much forward bending, especially when you're doing things like digging and stuff. So this is my reality and I'm working with it. And it's good. Life is good. So, I'm done. So, I wish you all well in your journeys with good body biomechanics, doing what you love. Have a great day.